Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. I hope you're having a great day. Shout out the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. It's time for the crypto market recap. Let's hop into these charts, see what the story is and what it may be. And remember, if you're interested in any of the services I provide, please check the links in the description below for both the Patreon and Discord. Okay, so before we hop into the charts, I want to go over the new service that has gone live for the Discord, which is the Be a Lemon Patreon tier. It is the day trading scalping tier for the Discord. So if you want to day trade and scalp with me in the live room, you can join that tier and hop into the room with me. I also provide another service with that tier, which is the copy trade tier on Bybit. So as you can see here, I already started it. It's actively being traded right now. I am currently doing decent. All right, we're starting off small, but we're going to slowly grow. I only have one follower at the moment, but hopefully the members that are joining this tier, that I can get them set up to join the copy trade account so that whatever scalps I do, they can reap in the benefits. So it's a 90-10 split. So 90% of the profits I make will go to you, and then 10% will come to me from the profit we make. So hopefully we can build off onto something here and make some lives change. Okay. So if you are interested in this service, make sure to check out the Patreon. It is the Be a Lemon tier. Right now it's priced at $125 a month. And if you aren't interested in the day trading or scalping, check out the swing trading tier. It's $15 a month. We haven't had more than one loser in the year for both stocks and crypto. So, you know, it's definitely worth a look for the value you get, considering the price being only $15. So definitely check it out. And currently we are in a trade for the day trade service, the scalping service, and this trade is the copy trade account, right? So I have two open positions right now, looking short on Solana. We'll see if the trade works out. We're slowly gaining more and more profit. So if we lose here, it's not the end of the world. We're just losing a bit of our profits. But as of right now, we have open trade. We'll see how this works out. Hopefully it'll just bring more value to the follower I currently have, and hopefully more followers to come. All right, so now let's hop into the charts. We're going to look at Bitcoin, Polkadot, Cardano, Solana, Avalanche, and Link. So these are currently our swing trade positions that are open. We are long currently. And if I have time, I may look at a few other coins here. I'm probably going to give a shout out to Luna Classic. If you have been following me, you know I gave a shout out to Luna Classic a couple times. I did a video. I think it was my last recap video actually, and I actually tweeted about it a couple times in last week. So it's been doing great. So I do want to give it a quick look over. So starting off with Bitcoin right now, as we can see with Bitcoin, broke the rising structure. Okay, broke the rising structure, which obviously not great in the short term if you're looking for upside, but as of now still holding those 2017 highs, right? So we're holding the 2017 all-time highs, about 20,000 to 19,000, and this is generally the level I said it would get to if we broke this rising structure, right? So if we broke this rising structure, I was saying we're probably going to come down, touch around 20 to 19,000 if we can base out here. So if we can start basing out here, going sideways, or just having a slight tinge to the downside, testing that 19,000 level directly, and then finding an impulse higher, we're probably going to come back towards 21,800. However, this level is very likely to break, and we're going to go all the way towards 23,500 and maybe even 24,000 plus. Okay, the challenge will be if we can actually break this high pivot, which is around 25,000. Okay, so 25,200 is this high pivot. If we break through that, then we're looking at much higher levels. The probabilities of this level breaking are not very high, at least not in the short term. Okay, if this level is going to break, we're going to see a lot of consolidation after this breakdown. So we're going to see something like this most likely. Okay, if this is going to actually break to the upside and get towards the 26, 28, 30,000 levels, that's the sort of structure we're probably going to see. That's not most probable. What's most probable is we'll come up towards this level here and then start, you know, breaking down again to break under this level finally and get towards the next major level, which is going to be anywhere from pretty much 16,000 and lower, right? So if there's going to be a short-term bounce to the upside that's going to extend out at all, then we're going to need, once we come towards the 23.5, maybe 24, and we start rejecting, we're going to need the bulls to start showing some strength right around here, right? We can't, I don't think we can come down to this level, hold it again. All right, we need a hold prior to that if we want more upside past that top pivot at 25,000, going towards 26. All right, so that's my thinking right now. We're still long Bitcoin for a couple of reasons. One, it's not a horrible position we're in. We've been a long Bitcoin for a very long time, but thankfully, due to our success in our altcoin trades, a lot of the risk in the downside to the Bitcoin trade is pretty much minuscule at this point. So if it does go lower, I do have set levels I want to add on to the position, considering our account has grown. So originally we had about 25% of our account exposed to Bitcoin, 25%, but because of the net profit we made on those other trades, it's gone down towards almost 14-15%. So we actually have a lot more room where we can expose that our account to the Bitcoin trade comfortably. Okay, and that's really key to understand when you're going to swing trade multiple positions. When you're swing trading multiple positions, that is key. Okay, it's like being able to kind of widen your positions, lessen your positions based off of the risk to reward from other positions. So overall, not too upset about how things are going, especially if we're going to continue to hold this level. We'll give it time. We'll see how this plays out. But we are possibly in the works for a pretty long consolidation, or we do just find the weakness here and then come lower toward that 16,000 level and maybe even lower. All right, so let's take a quick look at Polkadot, see what's going on there. It's probably gonna be very similar as it is. So just like Bitcoin, lost that rising structure, coming down into these pivot levels here. So right now it's sitting right at pretty much $7, which is a fairly major level of support. If you notice, we are seeing a potential descending sort of structure here. So that does give us an inkling that we might see a bullish reversal, which kind of goes hand in hand with the possibility that Bitcoin might have a bullish reversal. Okay, short term. So if that happens, again, we're going to have at least a move towards almost $8, and if we get an extended move higher, all the way towards 8 and change, 8.56. Getting past there will be a challenge, and if we do, we'll probably come towards $9. I will have to wait and see if Polkadot can actually find the fuel to get past $9. If that's going to happen, I do think you're going to have some bullish consolidation somewhere around this level before $9 is taken out. It's very unlikely to just blast through $9. Of course, it can happen. It's just unlikely. But we're sitting long here as well. Polkadot, I think we're slightly down. I'd have to double check. A lot of the positions, funnily enough, we're either down slightly or just moderately, or we're near break even, which is pretty interesting considering where we got into these positions must have been pretty good. All right, so Cardano, very similar to Polkadot, a lot more weakness as it was climbing this this trend line. Again, this trend line moved, I think because I put my chart on log a couple times, so my apologies. So this is how the trend line actually looks, matching this bottom wick to this bottom wick, and then this price action over here. Cardano loses the level and now is consolidating on top of this decent support level at 44.5 cents. Very similar. Again, we're seeing a similar sort of structure in a lot of these coins with Bitcoin. Possible descending pattern here. We have to give it more time, and if it turns out being like a descending wedge, then the probabilities will start to increase slowly that we're going to see a move up. How dramatic? It's probably going to be measured through Bitcoin. So anything that goes towards 24,000 will probably get Cardano going towards 50 cents. If Bitcoin can somehow pass that 24,000 mark and start approaching 25,000, then you're probably going to see a pretty big move in Cardano. A lot of these altcoins will probably have really extended moves, and for Cardano specifically, you'll probably see that move to 55 and maybe even all the way back up towards this rising trend line at 60 cents. So we can see some awesome action if we're going to get a really strong move in Bitcoin. But again, we have to wait until that's proven. As of now, we're possibly building out immature bullish structures, or we may just find that further low move. Again, if I don't see this happening. Same with Bitcoin, it going straight down. I think if that does happen, we're going to be getting some news out of the equity markets. Just maybe more hawkish tones coming out of the Fed. Maybe the Nasdaq and S&P losing key levels, but I'm not seeing that out of them. I'm seeing more of a consolidation sort of structure, and hopefully, as it matures, it tends to lean bullish. We do have to give it time. We don't have all the puzzle pieces yet. All right, so let's look at Solana next. So we are scalping Solana, as you saw, but we're also in a swing trade of Solana. Solana lost this bearish rising structure, and now it's holding this support level here. Let's actually mark this level. So let's do a ray real quick, because we know that this is going to be a pretty significant level. So about 3175-ish is going to be the general zone of support. It's proven to be right now. And if it does lose this level, Solana actually has quite a bit of room to the downside. If it does lose this level, I do see it getting at least towards this level here, this bottom wick, which is about 26 bucks. But it's very unlikely to hold this level. It'll likely come towards 22 and change. So it's pretty important that Solana at least doesn't come. It does show some strength as it's hitting this level or as it's hitting this level. Okay, so I do have some add-on levels I'm interested in. Obviously, I'm not going to post them here. It's mainly just going to be for the members of the swing trade service, but I do have levels for everything I'm looking at to add on to. But yeah, we are likely going to see out Solana. What usually happens of this rising structures, you'll see some sort of retest. They may not get all the way to the rising trend line here, but it is likely to get to the next major resistance level. So that's around 38 and change. Okay, so we may get that a nice impulse up in Solana. Again, if Bitcoin has another idea, then it will follow Bitcoin, of course. Going into Avalanche next. So Avalanche, similar to Solana, less of a rising wedge structure, but more of like a rising channel. And then broke under, right? Broke under, and finally, you know, what's interesting about Avalanche, it was right on top of a major daily pivot level, right? So it found a lot of support here, finally broke through, and now it's kind of trading right under it, tapping the zone as resistance. So that's pretty bearish. Okay, that is pretty bearish, and what that means likely is that if we don't get any impulse higher within today to pretty much the weekend, right? So if we don't get an impulse higher going into the weekend, we're probably going to roll over, and the rollover for Avalanche should be pretty dramatic. We're looking at anywhere from 16 bucks to maybe all the way down towards $13-14. So we really would like to see some bullish impulse in the short term, just to try and mitigate some of that downside. But it is definitely forming, you know. Okay, we have to trust what we're seeing, and if that happens, I have key levels. Obviously, you know, 16 is gonna be very interesting to add on to, and definitely, you know, $14-15 is gonna be very interesting to add on to this trade. Okay, looking at Link is very interesting as well. What I like about Link is Link, unlike the previous coins we just looked at, broke a descending resistance from its all-time high, which usually indicates or implies a bullish change in the market, right? At least specifically for Link. So, you know, we do have to respect that Bitcoin runs the show via the liquidity, so all the coins will follow Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin wants to plunge lower, so will Link. But looking at Link in a vacuum, what's interesting is it broke that descending trend line, which is kind of like the cutoff mark from the bearish market, right, to potentially a bullish market. So very, very interesting what is being built out here in Link. We are currently long, but looking at it in a much larger sense, in a macro sense, we might be seeing Link beginning to show signs of a macro change to the, to break out to the upside. So very interesting on Link. It has a lot of work to do, of course. We have this descending trend line, which is the breakdown of this descending structure. So we'll see how price interacts as it gets there, potentially. And then obviously this major level at $8.72. And if it breaks this level, then what we'll likely see, if it breaks this level and then goes higher as it gets towards these levels here, we're likely seeing a change in the macro structure. So it's going to be very interesting to watch if Link can actually successfully do that. Okay, and that's very reminiscent of what happened. I believe it was a year or two ago when, remember, the whole market was just coming down really hard, and Link was having its own personal bull run, right? Went all the way from like $5 to what, like $50? Yeah, so it was $50 plus. So yeah, it's definitely possible. Whether it happens again, yeah, no one really knows. But this is very interesting. Now let's actually take a quick look at BNB, because I want to talk about BNB because BNB also had a similar instance of where it broke its descending trend line, right? From the all-time high, broke that descending trend line, then came back, tapped it a couple times, and now you're seeing, look at that massive move it's had, okay? Again, this could be just the, dead cat bounce, a bear rally, a bear rally in a bear market, or a bull rally in a bear market. So we don't want to say, oh, it's bottomed out forever, but this is what I'm thinking about when I look at Link. Look at this extension that BNB's had. That's a near 90% extension. Okay, so from the low, this thing has moved up almost 85%. That's incredible. That's incredible. And this gives us a possible implication that BNB itself, in a vacuum, is starting to look very bullish, right? I mean, I don't really subscribe to Head and Shoulders as much, but I think most people could see that this looks like a potential Head and Shoulders, right? Inverse Head and Shoulders, which is very bullish. And if this does play out, the one-to-one move is right here at 460. So this major daily pivot level. Again, we don't know how these things are going to play out, but the implication is very bullish for BNB and Link as well. So we definitely want to keep our eye on them. It's very interesting what I'm seeing out of these two. Let's take a look at Luna. So Luna is crazy, right? Luna is absolutely killing it. It's fun to watch. I have a small position in Luna right here at this orange line here. I have a small position. I posted when I got in the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord and you're watching this video, do yourself a favor, get in there. And if you are in the Discord and you're not following my Twitter, make sure you're doing that. You'll see the link to my Twitter profile in the Discord. Just go to Lemon's tweets and you'll see I tweeted out this beauty. Again, a lot of hopium, a lot of copium, and a lot of memery out of this chart. Just having some fun with the Luna community. I don't personally believe we're going to get towards $1 anytime soon, if ever, or $100, but it's definitely fun to play around with. But what is cool is looking at this retracement, right? So this retracement is the high pivot to the low pivot prior to the incredible plunge that Luna had, right? So we'll see if it actually could get to the first retracement, which is the 23.6. That's to keep in perspective, guys, that's almost 3,000% move. All right, again, not saying this is going to happen. This is not financial advice. But what I am saying is the incredible behavior of Luna, based off the fundamental changes that are happening in the project, needs to be highlighted. So what's happening? Well, we got two things happening. Obviously, staking just went live. I'm not personally staking. I'm not telling you to stake, but people are staking. There's a huge amount of supply that has been staked. I think it's anywhere from 5 to 7% so far of the supply has been staked, which is quite a bit. That is quite a bit. And then coming into September, I believe it's the 12th, it's going to go live, and then many exchanges are going to also follow suit. So I don't know exactly when they'll do this, but there's going to be a pretty aggressive burn in Luna. So I believe it's going to be 1.2, 1.3% burn on every transaction of Luna, Luna Classic, I should say. So considering, where the volumes are now, right? So they're averaging anywhere from 200, 400 million volume on a normal day, all the way to almost up to 1 billion volume in trading in a day. That's a huge amount of coins to be burned. And then now adding on top that Binance, which has the majority of the supply of Luna Classic, has agreed that they're going to also do the burn for every transaction. Including Kraken and I believe KuCoin. You have a bunch of major exchanges that are going to participate in these major burns, and they're also participating in staking. Luna Classic could really do some crazy stuff. And the reason why I first mentioned it was for fun, but also I did say in that last video, crypto's an amazing place because a lot of people are doing a bunch of new things to try and build wealth, right? So I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen a coin in the span of 4 or 3 days go from $100 to less than a penny, right? Never seen that. And now I've never seen a concerted effort by multiple parties to try and burn this much supply. What I'm curious to see personally is, will the demands remain as it is now? If it does remain as it is now, prolonged into months, guys, I've done the math myself. You're talking about trillions a month of coins being burned, and that's the math. But the challenge is, will there be enough demand to sustain that? Personally, I'm very skeptical, but hey, I'm here for the ride. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing, and from where I bought, obviously I'm up quite a bit, almost 50, actually 100% almost, I believe, or 50%. Let me see. Yeah, 80, like 80%, 70%. Yeah, so really cool stuff to see. We'll see what happens with this coin. I think this is the epitome of what crypto community is, how crazy it can be. This is clearly a dead coin, but the team that's currently working on it and the community are trying to revive it, and I'm gonna be here to watch if they can do it. I hope they do. I hope they do it, because if you've been paying attention to the world, financially it's getting harder and harder, and it's not going to get easier. Okay, guys, it's not going to get easier. It's just going to get harder. So if this can help other people get wealth in the short term to midterm, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. All right, so I think that's all I want to go over. I think that's about everything I have to look at, see where this is at. So yeah, slowly trading within our 2 entries here. We'll see where we end up going with this Solana scalp trade. Just again, reiterate, make sure if you're not in the in any of these services to give it a good look. All right, give it a good look. The swing trade service is extremely successful, extremely successful. We haven't had a losing trade in, let's see, for the stocks, we haven't had a losing trade since SOS over here, which was in April. And for crypto, we actually, our only losing trade was Luna. We had a 5% position, and we lost about 72% off that 5% position. So again, not a massive loss considering how small the actual position was. And honestly, I got out very lucky compared to many others, right? Because you've seen the horror stories of the people who've lost pretty much everything in Luna. So I'm never going to complain about this. But hey, that's our only loser so far. So definitely check out the swing trading service. It's only $15 a month, and we legitimately have not lost more than 2 trades in both stocks and crypto, which is insane. I can't promise that going forward, but I can definitely promise you're going to make money in the swing trade service, in my opinion. And then and definitely look into the scalp service, the B11 service. We've got a few that are joining. Hey, I think it's going to turn into something great, especially if we continue to have the success we're having in the copy trade account. I hope you can be a part of that. All right, everyone, that's all for today. Remember, be patient, be vigilant, and be nimble. Love you guys. Take care.